Hey students, welcome to Bridge Academy of Undergraduate Level Global Affairs Crash Course, Unit 1. Understanding International Relations, Lesson 1. Conceptualizing Nationalism. Nations and states. After completing this lesson, you will be able to define the meanings and nature of nation. States and nationalism. Introduction. Nationalism has profoundly shaped the modern world, influencing revolutions, wars, and the formation of political entities. As a dominant force in international affairs, it has driven the collapse of empires, redrawn borders, and fostered the emergence of nation-states as the primary actors in global politics. This lesson explores the concepts of nationalism, nations, and states, clarifying their distinctions and examining their historical and contemporary significance. By understanding these concepts, we can better grasp their impact on political organization, self-determination, and international relations. Nationalism, as defined by Haywood 2014, is a doctrine that positions the nation as the fundamental unit for organizing society. It has been a catalyst for significant historical events, from revolutions to the dissolution of empires, and remains a powerful force in reshaping political landscapes. The concept of nationalism gave rise to the nation-state, a political entity where a nation, a community bound by shared identity, culture, myths, and social practices, aligns with a state's institutional framework. This fusion, emerging prominently in the late 18th century, marked a shift from state-centric governance to one driven by the collective identity of a people. The nation-state became the accepted model for political legitimacy, replacing earlier systems dominated by monarchs or aristocratic elites. The terms nation, state, and country are often used interchangeably in everyday language, but this is inaccurate. A nation is a cultural and historical entity organically evolving from ethnic communities and expressed through shared myths, legends, and traditions. In contrast, a state is a political and legal structure with defined borders and governance systems. The United Nations, for instance, is misnamed as it comprises states, not nations. Similarly, referring to the Chinese or Americans as nations oversimplifies their complex identities, which are tied to state structures rather than purely national ones. The late 18th century marked a turning point with the emergence of the nation-state. The American Revolution of 1776, with its iconic Declaration "We the People," and the French Revolution of 1789, which overthrew the monarchy and established principles of liberty, equality, and fraternity, provided models for nationalist movements worldwide. These revolutions emphasized self-determination, the right of a people to govern themselves, challenging the legitimacy of monarchies and empires. The French Revolution, in particular, dismantled the old regime, empowering the nation as the central political actor. The Congress of Vienna in 1815, intended to restore pre-revolutionary order after the Napoleonic Wars, failed to suppress the rising tide of nationalism. Across Europe, nationalist sentiments grew, demanding political inclusion and self-determination. The revolutions of 1848, though largely suppressed, highlighted the growing power of nationalist aspirations, particularly among the emerging middle class. These movements sought independent nation-states, such as a unified Italy achieved in 1861 or independent Finland, Bulgaria, and Serbia. By the end of World War I in 1918, self-determination was recognized as a right, leading to the creation of numerous nation-states and fundamentally transforming the European political landscape into an international system, as coined by Jeremy Bentham in 1783. Despite its historical triumph, nationalism faces challenges in contemporary international politics. The sovereignty of nation-states is under pressure from globalization, supranational organizations, and internal divisions. However, a revival of nationalism is evident in the post-Cold War era, with religion, culture, and ethnicity reasserting themselves as potent forces. This resurgence is captured in Samuel Huntington's Clash of Civilizations thesis, which contrasts with Francis Fukuyama's End of History by suggesting that cultural identities, rather than ideological battles, shape modern conflicts. These competing narratives highlight the ongoing relevance and complexity of nationalism in global affairs. Summary: nationalism has been a transformative force, giving rise to the nation-state as the cornerstone of modern political organization. Distinct from states, nations are cultural communities bound by shared identity, while nation-states combine these cultural ties with political structures. Historical events like the American and French Revolutions and the nationalist uprisings of 1848 illustrate the power of self-determination in reshaping societies and international relations. While the nation-state system remains dominant, contemporary challenges and the resurgence of cultural identities underscore nationalism's evolving role. Understanding these concepts clarifies the dynamics of global politics and the enduring influence of national identity. Review questions on conceptualizing nationalism, nations, and states. 1. According to Haywood 2014, what is nationalism and how has it influenced international affairs? Answer: according to Haywood 2014, nationalism is the doctrine that positions the nation as the fundamental unit for organizing society. It has profoundly influenced international affairs by sparking revolutions, wars, the collapse of empires, and the redrawing of borders, while fostering the emergence of nation-states as key actors in global politics. 2. How does a nation differ from a state, and why is it incorrect to use these terms interchangeably? Answer: a nation is a cultural and historical entity defined by shared identity, myths, and traditions, evolving organically from ethnic communities. A state, in contrast, is a political and legal structure with defined borders and governance systems. Using them interchangeably is incorrect because nations are based on cultural unity, while states are defined by political authority, as seen in the misnomer of the United Nations, which comprises states, not nations. 3. What is a nation-state, and when did it emerge as a significant political entity? Answer: a nation-state is a political entity where a nation, a community bound by shared identity and practices, aligns with a state's institutional framework. It emerged prominently in the late 18th century, driven by nationalist movements and revolutions, such as the American Revolution of 1776 and the French Revolution of April 1789. How did the American and French revolutions contribute to the rise of nationalism? Answer: the American Revolution 1776 introduced the concept of we the people, emphasizing collective self-governance, while the French Revolution 1789 overthrew the monarchy, establishing the nation as the central political actor guided by liberty, equality, and fraternity. Both provided models for nationalist movements worldwide, promoting self-determination. 5. What was the significance of the Congress of Vienna in 1815 in relation to nationalism? Answer: the Congress of Vienna in 1815 aimed to restore pre-revolutionary order after the Napoleonic Wars, but failed to suppress growing nationalist sentiments across Europe. These sentiments fueled demands for political inclusion and self-determination, challenging the legitimacy of empires and setting the stage for later nationalist uprisings. 6. Why were the revolutions of 1848 significant for nationalism, even though they were largely unsuccessful? Answer: the revolutions of 1848, though suppressed, highlighted the growing power of nationalist aspirations, particularly among the emerging middle class. They demanded independent nation-states, for example, for Finland, Bulgaria, and Serbia, and demonstrated that nationalist sentiments were impossible to fully control, paving the way for future successes. 7. What role did World War I play in the recognition of self-determination? Answer: by the end of World War I in 1918, self-determination was recognized as a right, leading to the creation of numerous nation-states in Europe. This transformed the European political landscape into an international system, where nation-states became the primary actors in global politics. 8. Who coined the term international, and what does it signify in the context of nation-states? Answer. The term international was coined by Jeremy Bentham in 1783. It signifies a system of relations between nation-states, which replaced the earlier Westphalian system of state-to-state relations, emphasizing the sovereignty and formal equality of nation-states in global politics. 9. What contemporary challenges do nation-states face in international politics? Answer. Nation-states face challenges from globalization, supranational organizations, and internal divisions, which pressure their sovereignty. Additionally, the post-Cold War revival of nationalism, driven by religion, culture, and ethnicity, complicates their role in global affairs, as seen in competing narratives like Huntington's Clash of Civilizations. 10. How do Huntington's Clash of Civilizations and Fukuyama's End of History differ in their views on nationalism's role in modern conflicts? Answer. Huntington's Clash of Civilizations argues that cultural identities, including religion and ethnicity, are resurgent forces driving modern conflicts, highlighting nationalism's continued relevance. In contrast, Fukuyama's End of History suggests that ideological battles have largely ended, with liberal democracy prevailing, downplaying nationalism's role in favor of global convergence. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more lessons. See you next time.